Difference between trigger.new and trigger.old in Salesforce? Trigger.new returns a list of the new versions of the subject records. Note that this subject list is only available in insert and update triggers, and the records can only be modified in before triggers. Trigger.old returns a list of the old versions of the subject records. Note that this subject list is only available in update and delete triggers. Difference of ActionFunction and ActionSupport and ActionPoller? ActionFunction used to call the server-side method using JavaScript. ActionSupport used to call the server based on the client-side event, i.e., like onClick, onChange, etc. ActionPoller is a timer that sends an AJAX update request to the server according to a time interval that you specify. Difference between profile and permission sets? Profile. Profile is a collection of permissions and settings associated with user or group of users. User can have only one profile. Profile is mandatory while creating user. Permission sets. Permission sets is a collection of settings and permissions that give users access to various tools and functions. The settings and permissions in permission sets are also found in profiles, but permission sets extend users' functional access without changing their profiles. Users can have only one profile, but can have multiple permission sets. 23. What is the difference between database.insert and insert? Insert is the DML statement which is same as database.insert. However, database.insert gives more flexibility like rollback, default assignment rules, etc. We can achieve the database.insert behavior in insert by using the method setOptions, database.dml options. Important difference. If we use the DML statement, insert, then in bulk operation if error occurs, the execution will stop and Apex code throws an error which can be handled in try-catch block. If DML database methods, database.insert, used, then if error occurs the remaining records will be inserted or updated, means partial DML operation will be done. Difference in export and export all in data loader in Salesforce? Export. It is used to export the Salesforce data, excluding recycle bins data, into your local system. Export all. It is used to export the Salesforce data, including recycle bins data, into your local system. What is the difference between the global and public access modifier keywords? We have different access modifiers like global, private, public. If we use the access modifier as global, it can be used anywhere in the org. Generally, global is used for web services since one class needs to handle some other parts of Apex in the org. Whenever we use public keyword, then the access is limited to the particular class and cannot be used outside the related class. What is difference between static resources versus documents? Static resources versus documents. Static resources are data cached and you can refer them easily in Visualforce, including zip files, which store on Salesforce server. Static resources and documents are having an absolute limit of 5 megabytes for each document. You can package a collection of related files into a directory hierarchy and upload that hierarchy as a .zip or .jar archive, images, style sheets, JavaScript, and other files. You can reference a static resource by name in page markup by using the $resource global variable instead of hard-coding document IDs. JavaScript or CSS is preferable to including the markup inline. Managing this kind of content using static resources allows you to have a consistent look and feel for all your pages and shared set of JavaScript functionality. Referencing a static resource in Visualforce page. Referencing a static resource in Visualforce page. Difference between SOAP and Restful web service? REST and SOAP are the two web service frameworks available on the Force.com platform. The SOAP API uses authentication with username and password, and communicates using XML messages. There are different APIs to work with the enterprise, partner, bulk, metadata, etc. The REST API uses HTTP to authenticate. It uses a token authentication and can use OAuth to authenticate. It communicates using JSON messages. REST API is generally lighter weight than the SOAP API, works well with mobile applications especially. Difference between lookup filter and lookup? Lookup filter. Lookup filters are administrator settings that restrict the valid values and lookup dialog results for lookup, master detail, and hierarchical relationship fields. Administrators specify the restrictions by configuring filter criteria that compare fields and values on the current record, source, the lookup object, target, the user's record, permissions, and role. Records directly related to the target object. Lookup. This is the type of relationship links two objects together, but has no effect on deletion or security. Unlike master detail fields, lookup fields are not automatically required. When you define a lookup relationship, data from one object can appear as a custom related list on page layouts for the other object. What is difference between remote access and ActionFunctions? At Remote Action and Apex, ActionFunction are essentially polar opposites in terms of functionality, even though they both offer JavaScript functionality. At Remote Action, methods are static, and therefore can't see the current page state directly. At Remote Action, methods require less bandwidth and server processing time, because only the data you submit is visible and the view state is not transferred. At Remote Action, methods have to update the DOM manually using explicit JavaScript. At Remote Action, methods can return data directly back to the calling JavaScript, but cannot update the page's view state. Apex, ActionFunction. Apex, ActionFunction methods are instance methods, and so can see the entire page state. Apex, ActionFunction has to transfer the page view state. Apex, ActionFunction methods automatically update the Visualforce DOM and can refresh part or all of the page, and can provide a standard interface for showing a loading status through Apex, ActionStatus. Apex, ActionFunction methods can update the page's view state and DOM structure, but cannot return data directly back to JavaScript, although you can do this with some extra effort using onComplete. What is difference between pageblocktable, datatable, and repeater? Pageblocktable. Pageblocktable should be defined inside pageblock or pageblock section. Pageblocktable uses standard style sheets to design a visual page. It has the required attribute value. Column headers will be displayed automatically. Datatable. No need to write inside pageblock or pageblock section. There is no required value. The data can be displayed using custom style sheets. We need to specify column headers explicitly. Repeater. There is no proper alignment of data in repeater compared with datatable.